Patrice, let me back up with you on what I was talking about with trade, because there are Republicans, and Paul Ryan's the latest, to really push back hard on this. What do you make of it?
Now, I'm not surprised. I mean, I think there are other countries who will look at Paul Ryan's district, for example, or other Republicans, and think about all of the manufacturers in their districts and how, you know, a trade war would impact them politically. You know, it's really not something that we want to see undermine these tariffs, undermining the good work that's been done in this economy, but also be the result of the tax cuts. Right. I mean, when we think about what the tariffs are going to impact, it's not just cars, and cars are a big deal. Everything from beer cans to ladders. You're talking about a lot of consumer goods that are going to be taxed. You know, really, that's what a tariff is going to be. It's going to be a tax, and we need to see that right now. We don't need to see a loss of jobs either in industries that will be vulnerable because of the tariffs.
Now, Jonas, you pick up the most difficult part of all this, interpreting the market's reaction to it. I know Gary Cohn and others had supposedly advised the president that if he goes ahead with something like this, it would be disastrous for markets. And we did see a sell-off at the end of last week, and even this morning, but now we've turned higher by about 200 points on the Dow, bouncing off of those lows. What do you make of the markets and how they're taking all this?
Well, the initial reaction was very frightening, because the initial reaction was assuming there would be some sort of trade war, which may or may not happen. I mean, I don't know if you can win any of this tariff trade war, but so far it looks like there isn't going to be a trade war. Trump's winning, so to say. And he was very aggressive, saying he would tax cars, say, out of the EU. That is a huge tariff to add all of a sudden. It would be very scary for Germany and other countries, and that could keep them out of the fray. You know, at the end of the day, the U.S. is in the catbird seat. I'm hearing a lot of, why would you want to undo all the good that's been done? You could also make the case that if you're going to have a tariff trade war, you'd want to do it right after, when the economy's strong, when you just cut corporate taxes and they have a lot of buffer now to eat these costs without passing them on to consumers. Right. That wasn't the case 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Again, I'm not pro-tariff, pro-trade war at all. I don't even want to bring these old industries back to America. That said, this has been a Trump thing since the 80s. If you go back to David Letterman interviews, he was talking about this and the trade imbalances with Japan at the time. That was the bugaboo, not China. The point is, he's been wanting to have this trade shut on for a long time. And if you're going to have it, we have a little room here, and he aims to play tough. And I got to tell you, we buy more stuff than we sell. We sell a lot of services, not a lot of goods, and nobody wants to lose us as a consumers. I don't know. We never really know how aggressive other countries are going to play this game, and we might be about to find out. It could be scary for stocks. And I don't think it's a net positive to any company, because as all these free trade groups will tell you, they want to have free goods and services, blah, 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 blah. But for the average person in America, it could look like a win. It looks like he's doing some of the things he talked about. Politically, he could come across as a tough guy who went to war with China and they backed down. I mean, that's how it could play out as well.
It's a quick last point, Phil. I think Jonas raises a really, really key element of all this, is that for all these other issues that the president has brought up, we see him change his mind on things sometimes in the course of the same day or the same meeting. But not on this. Jonas is right. He's 30-plus years of consistency, which may raise the odds. Is that fair, that we might actually end up in a real-life trade war?
Well, when you look at the president, he's nothing if he's not consistent when it comes to some of these longer promises that he's made. And on trade, this is something that he definitely has wanted to do for a long time. That said, it's going to be very difficult for Republicans, because they can't hit Nancy Pelosi over the head for being disingenuous when she talks about crumbs, when you are going to see prices increase on, like Sarah said, everything, you know, from baseball bats to beer cans.
These are going to the Campbell soup can that Wilbur Ross was holding up. Yeah,
exactly. These are going to hurt the people at the lower ends of the spectrum, and this is not something that President Trump, I think, has thought through. So, you know, either Paul Ryan or Mitch McConnell, I think that they need to, you know, put a bug in his ear.